Now, when Les Sserafim debuted, a lot of people did not like their style or concept because, according to them, it was very simple, basically disappointing for a group that consists of Chaewon and Sakura, two former IZ*ONE members. So yeah, I get it. Like, expectations are gonna be super high given how this is a new hype girl group, that too under Source Music Entertainment, so they're following G-Friend. I mean, I personally loved Fearless and their debut, but I do agree with some criticisms that, yeah, the concept is very simple and something that I personally am not that fond of. However, with Anti-Fragile, their first ever comeback, my opinion on their concept completely shifted, and I found a newfound appreciation for their concept, their style, and what Les Sserafim as a group stands for. So I thought it would be interesting if today we dissect Les Sserafim, their concept, their image, their style, their aesthetics, and also some of their controversies. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Les Sserafim is currently a 5-member girl group but debuted as 6 on May 2nd, 2022 with their first mini-album, Fearless. The group consists of Sakura Miyawaki, Kim Chaewon, Ha Yeonjin, Kazuha Nakamura, Hong Yoon-chae, and former member Kim Garam. Oh, and I forgot to mention that they're under Hybe or under Source Music to be specific, that is under Hybe. Sakura originally joined HKT48 in 2011, and then in 2018, she, Chaewon, and Yeonjin all competed on Produce 48, which was the third installment in the Produce series. However, the twist was that there were Japanese contestants along with Korean contestants, so the hopes for this was to make a K-pop group that could also cater to the J-pop audience. Of course, by the end of the show, we got IZ*ONE, one of my all-time favorite groups, and through this show, Chaewon, Yeonjin, and Sakura all got introduced to the K-pop audience. Chaewon and Sakura ended up debuting in IZ*ONE, the group that came out of Produce 48. However, Yeonjin did get eliminated. After IZ*ONE disbanded, Sakura returned to Japan, and then she announced her graduation from HKT48. Since August 17, 2021, there were lots of rumors surfacing that Sakura and Chaewon would join Source Mu's new girl group, so technically Hybe's new girl group. I don't know, for the longest time, I did not believe these rumors. They sounded hypothetical, if anything, and they just sounded too good to be true for me personally for the longest time. And then Chaewon, she like disappeared from the internet. Like, I followed all the IZ*ONE members, so I don't know if you remember, that was kind of weird and I was worried about her. But then on March 14, 2022, it was officially announced Sakura and Chaewon had signed with Hybe. As for Yeonjin, she was under Pledis Entertainment, that god-awful entertainment company that got some sort of redemption after joining Hybe, you could say. And after Hybe acquired Pledis, Yeonjin would now be transferred from Pledis to Source Music, and she too would be debuting in Les Sserafim. Kim Minju, another IZ*ONE member, was considered to debut in Les Sserafim, and she was, but she declined so that she could pursue her acting career. Honestly, props to her for doing what she truly loves. That takes a lot of guts, you could say. And on March 21st, 2022, Source Music confirmed they will be debuting a new girl group. The group's name was revealed to be Les Sserafim, which is an anagram of the words I'm Fearless. The group's fandom name is Fear Not, which is a homonym of blooming in Korea. And the group also does not have official positions, which has been a trend with 4th-gen K-pop groups where a lot of the groups, they don't have any sort of fixed positions. Let me know what you guys think about that. I personally like it, but at the same time, I'm like, I miss when that was a thing in K-pop. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it. Like, I like it, but at the same time, I'm like, I miss it because it made K-pop kind of unique. So starting April 4th, the members of Les Sserafim got introduced one by one, starting with Sakura. Hitman Bang would be in charge of Les Serafim's debut, along with New Kim from Source Music being the creative director for their debut. However, things started to go wrong with the announcement of Kim Garam as bullying accusations started surfacing about her, and on May 20th, Garam took a hiatus due to all of these bullying accusations, and then on July 20th, she officially left the group and her contract with Hybe had been terminated. Of course, the Garam situation has been talked to at length by this point now, and I've also made a video talking about it after she departed, but let's just say that the way you guys treated this girl on the internet was very harsh. That too over unproven rumors. So Okay, moving on. Garam won't be the main focus of this video, but I will touch on her later because I don't think you can talk about Le Sserafim without mentioning Garam and the controversy surrounding her. Anyway, regardless of the controversy, due to the hype, chaewon, Sakura, former IZ*ONE name alone, the group managed to surpass 270,000 copies in the first week of their pre-orders. And one thing I love about Le Sserafim, despite being a post-IZ*ONE group, you can see that only chaewon and Sakura were not being pushed to us. Like, every member in Le Sserafim are given a chance to shine, which is such a refreshing thing when it comes to these post-IOI or post-IZ*ONE groups. HYBE also has a lot of variety programs and web shows and documentaries to promote their groups, and of course, Le Sserafim also got their documentary, which is called The World Is My Oyster, which is also like the intro/trailer for their album and whatnot. And I'm glad that despite HYBE being a mega corporation that houses so many groups and artists, they're still doing their best to promote Le Sserafim as a group and just not rely on the company name or chaewon or Sakura alone. So like I mentioned earlier, the creative director is New Kim or Kim Sung-hyun. I really hope I did not butcher that. Okay, so yeah, he is a Source Music creative director. From an interview, this is what he had to say. We didn't come up with a fixed concept. I only help the girls express what they want to convey. From a company's perspective, whether it's BTS or Le Sserafim, we don't have a fixed concept. First though, personal interviews with the members, I will listen to what they want to show. From there, I discovered the common ground that all members pursue, and mainly help the members showcase their potential. Honestly, I read this interview from New Kim. It really clicked why Le Sserafim's concept is them being fearless. And the more you learn about Le Sserafim, the members and their history and their past, it really makes sense why New Kim went into this direction for Le Sserafim's concept and what makes this concept so special and unique and authentic to the girls, despite the fact that, you know, a girl group being tough, not needing anyone, and being fearless isn't anything particular new, but it's Le Sserafim that makes it new because it truly does represent who they are. So with the teasers rolling out, all the members got introduced one by one. So first you had Sakura, and in her clip you saw a very bold, slick image of her. She's like riding the motorcycle, and Sakura also mentioned that she wanted to showcase a more mature image of herself from her IZ*ONE version. And the same can be said about chaewon, because chaewon sported the bob. She had a much more, you could say, sexier image than her IZ*ONE counterpart with the longer, straight hair. And then you had Garam, who in the trailer, it's pure adorable. And I look at Garam and I'm like, wow, she would perfectly fit in Lovelies. Like, the concept is just so age appropriate for Garam. And then you had Eunchae, and her concept trailer is also like colorful, cute, feminine, but with a dark twist at the end. And Eunchae said that I don't even know who I am yet. This is what I think, but I think that's the reason why they gave her this type of image. And then, of course, you had Kazuha, and they emphasize a lot on her ballet background. I feel like when it comes to Kazuha, they emphasize on her ballet strengths a lot, and along with her tall, slim figure. And Kazuha just reminds me so much of Twice's Mina or ENHYPEN Sunghoon, who, you know, transitioned from, you know, their previous careers or the previous activities to being an idol. And then, of course, you have Hyunjin, and if you don't notice, but Hyunjin is the only member in all of the member teaser trailers that speaks, and she speaks in English. And Hyunjin is unapologetically herself. She's the member with a lot of ambition, and she's a member that really wants to succeed, and she just doesn't hide herself. And that's the reason why she's the one who tells the story through her voice, according to New Kim. Okay, then you have Fearless, their debut title track, and it's a sleek, funky dance pop song, and a lot of people did not like this song. Like, the opinions were like mixed from what I saw because of how simple the song it was, and I feel like a lot of people complain that the simplicity of the song and the concept is what makes it detrimental. But I personally really liked it. Of course, opinions will vary. It really appealed to me. I liked that it was simple, and sometimes you just need a song that isn't so in your face, and I really liked it. And I did find the song to be really addictive, and in the music video you can see the members are dancing in a gym, and the color scheme is mainly like black and white, and the whole music video is basically detailing how the members want to embrace their past fears and weaknesses, and now that they want to be fearless. And the color scheme of the music video is mainly black and white to further solidify this kind of bolder mature image. And one thing I found interesting is that, there's cussing in the song, like Kazuha. She says that I'm a crazy bitch or something like that. And honestly, that took me out of it because cussing in K-pop is so censored so that, those songs don't get banned from like KBS or whatnot. So I was like, oh, okay, I like it, not gonna lie. Because I don't care for cussing in songs, but honestly, annoying how we don't get any of it in K-pop. Like, the music video kind of feels disjointed at times because you have the girls working out in a gym to show how cool they are, but then you have Kazuha also sitting up on a towed up car, and I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to go with the image, like they're tough, they're not scared of anything, but I feel like the music video at times does feel disjointed. And you also have Chaewon jumping from a high place, and again, to further showcase this image. And I will say one thing I don't like about the music video, and a lot of people will agree with me on that, and that's the, how do I say this? Where they're like humping on the floor. Yeah, that was very weird. I did not like it. I'm glad it wasn't any of the live stages, but we can all agree that was weird, okay? And of course, at the end of the music video, you had the title card, which says, "Do you think I'm fragile?" And I did not notice this at first, which ends up being a clue to their next comeback, which is anti-fragile. Now, they also had this mermaid concept alongside this boulder image, and I could not find that much information on it, but this is what I did find. So they have a song on their album called The Great Mermaid, and I'll be honest with you, from the translations, I could not fully grasp the actual meaning of the song, but I do think it continues on the storyline of being fearless. And of course, they have the intro and the trailer that is called The World is My Oyster, which means you are in a position to take the opportunities that has to offer as well. So yeah, the whole song talks about how they're just not satisfied with this world, and that's trying to change them, and the girls want to be strong. Now let's talk about anti-fragile. Oh my god, the song has taken over my life. Honestly, if this does not, I'm so pissed. Okay, side tangent. Very side tangent. I'm so pissed this song got released so late in the year, and probably Spotify tracking has finished, because if I'm gonna be so sad if Anti-Fragile does not show up on my Spotify Wrapped, because it deserves to show up on my Spotify Wrapped. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, moving on. So Anti-Fragile begins with the girls saying, "I am anti-fragile," and the song continues with having a very fun choreo, and the song, it feels like a K-pop song. I feel like this is what people wanted from Le Sserafim's debut. And throughout the music video, everybody around them is panicking, but the girls don't care, and they're having fun, acting like nothing is wrong. And if anything, they look mildly excited about the meteor that's heading towards them. I will say, unlike Fearless, I will say Anti-Fragile's music video has a much more cohesive music video that ties in everything together much more nicely than Fearless. And the whole music video is about them clapping back at the haters. And Kazuha also talks about leaving her pointed shoes behind as a reference to her quitting ballet. The girls have much more bolder makeup in Anti-Fragile. I'll talk about that later. And Eunchae is staring at the meteor and she's smiling, which I think is really, which is like, I don't know, I really liked that scene. And when the meteor hits all of the girls, they're completely fine, like not even one scratch, to showcase Le Sserafim being fearless. Like, this comeback, it was louder, bolder, and more colorful than Fearless. And at the end of the music video, it says, "Do you want to be forgiven?" Meaning that this could hint their next comeback. So the thing with Anti-Fragile that I also really liked is that the music video and the concept incorporates the girls' unique and authentic identities into their concepts. Like, for example, Kazuha is fearless because she left ballet behind and gambled on being an idol. Sakura is fearless because she came back from Japan, improved herself, and became a better version of herself. Chaewon left Woollim, changed up her image, and also improved herself as well. And a lot of people consider her to be the best performer in Le Sserafim. Yeonjin is fearless because despite countless rejections and hardships to make it as an idol, she persevered. And Eunchae is fearless that despite being the youngest and being the last member added, she contributes a lot and even learned the choreo. And for those of you who don't like Garam, click off now. But Garam is fearless that she persevered despite all the hate thrown against her, and she was proven innocent. And now these new pictures were released of her, and honestly, good for Garam. I wish nothing but happiness for this girl. Okay, moving on. Okay, so now let's talk about the Anti-Fragile mini album and how it explores hardships and growth. Kim Chaewon also told the press that hours ahead of their mini album's release on October 17th, it also speaks of our determination to pioneer our own path with skill and effort, regardless of the challenges that come our way. Basically, it's an album that talks about the way we face and overcome hardships. The strength of that doesn't allow anything to break apart. Anti-Fragile is a song that had like Latin pop and reggaeton influences in their instrumentation. I feel like that's the thing that really appealed to many people and really just made the song so addictive for me and many people. And anti-fragile meaning in the context of the song is that you become stronger when faced with adversity and shock. Now, people called Fearless boring, which I don't personally agree with, but this is not about me. But Anti-Fragile has the same kind of message and theme as Fearless, except it's really out there. It's really like in your face and something that just grabs your attention. Then you have The Good Parts, a song about accepting our imperfections as a part of our true selves, and the members participated in songwriting of the album. And Yeonjin also mentions that they wanted to put out their own candid stories into the new album, and that's what makes many love Les Sserafim. And of course, compared to their debut, their second mini amassed 620,000 pre-orders, which was nearly the double the amount record, which the girls are really happy and emotional about over, and I'm really proud of them for how far they have come. In an interview, Chaewon also mentions how the girls want to show an image where they're enjoying their performance and they want to show cool performance and outdo previous one. Kazuha spent 15 years studying ballet, so it was really a risky decision on her part to become an idol. And from reading about Kazuha, she said that she never felt regretful about her decision, and she really likes herself now for trying out new things and making new choices. Like, she embodies the I'm Fearless motto perfectly. And Eunchae, who is the youngest, memorized Fearless's choreo in 2 hours. Then again, she does have previous experience being in a dance academy, but still, that's like really impressive. This is what Eunchae had to say. I joined Les Sserafim last. The unnies, as in the older girls in the group, already had their positions and transitions set up. When I joined, we had to redo all that choreography from the start. I didn't want to be an inconvenience to them. With that thought alone, I was focused and was able to do it in 2 hours. I was confident in dance to some extent, but it was my first time memorizing a choreography of that level of difficulty in 2 hours, so I was fascinated with myself and proud. Eunchae, despite being the youngest, still managed to prove her worth and capture attention, especially in Anti-Fragile, because I feel like she kind of got overshadowed in Fearless. Like, the bangs and her charisma, it did it for me personally. Yeonjin, like, oh my god, she is the underdog of all underdogs. I thought for the longest time she was not gonna debut, so when I heard she was gonna join Les Sserafim, I was so over the moon about it. Like, I'm so proud of this girl. In the thanks to portion of Les Sserafim's first mini album, Yeonjin spoke about finally meeting an open door after only encountering closed and locked doors. She explained this sentiment, sharing, "My father told me the door of opportunity is not something you can open on your own just because you're extraordinary," along with the words that a locked door won't open no matter how much you knock at it. And Yeonjin has talked about it in the Les Sserafim documentary that despite being hardworking and talented, she was told by many that she was not that special or that she does not really stand out as an idol. That's why she will not make it, but I'm glad that she persevered and improved herself. She elaborated, "To be honest, before I became Les Sserafim, I had the opportunity to debut as a different group, but it didn't work out well. I felt continuously knocking at a locked door for no reason. That's when I came across the door that is Les Sserafim, and I believed I slipped in through the crack of the door, open ajar like fate." They're really also passionate about being involved in songwriting and the production of their album. Like, Yeonjin writes song lyrics while getting her hair done, and Sakura also writes down things when inspiration comes to her, and her goal is to release a self-produced song one day, and I really hope that happens in the future. Okay, now let's talk about the makeup and fashion of Les Sserafim, which I've been really interested in K-pop lately. So first, let's talk about Fearless. Let's talk about Chaewon's iconic braided bob hair. Like, when I feel like nowadays, if anybody associates a K-pop idol with a braided bob, it's Chaewon. Like, you just think about Chaewon. And then, of course, you also have Sakura's bold accessories, like simple LBD and over-the-top crystal heart choker, and Yeonjin also with the caramel blonde hair, gives me like after school vibes, which is interesting because, after school used to be her sunmin names. And Kazuha also sports a punk inspired dress that had a black shirt and leather jacket, which is again a nod to her ballet background, which that also is a mesh of feminine and masculine styles. Garam has a tiny tiara to show how she was on her way to be an it girl, but we all know that never happened. And then you also have the cool tone lip color for Eunchae. Like, Fearless did not have very flashy makeup or styling due to the concept of the song, and of course the girls were sported wearing gym outfits. But I feel like Anti-Fragile is when the girls became more experimental with their music, style, and makeup. So first thing you notice is the distinguished eyeshadow looks. Like, I'm just such a fan of this, especially Yeonjin's. I definitely want to try out Yeonjin's look. It's just so freaking cool. And Chaewon image obviously changed a lot from her I Was Little One days, and the reason why she wanted to do this is to capture attention and enter a new phase of her career, and it really worked out well for her because people do associate this hairstyle with Chaewon, and Chaewon does stand out a lot. Kazuha was training as a ballet dancer in Amsterdam, and during her time her style was also influenced by the leotards and hairstyles she wore when she was doing ballet. But Kazuha says that now she wants to experiment with bolder looks and makeup and try out new things. And according to Hyunjin, the concept of their makeup and outfits for Anti-Fragile was based on the fact that even if it's messy, they can pull it off. Like, for example, Hyunjin in the MV watches the meteorite but then picks up the yellow eyeliner to emphasize her wings. Like, yeah, you cannot get more random and messy than that, let's be real. And the B-side tracks are also consistent with their concept of being fearless and unapologetically themselves. And LE SSERAFIM, despite being rookies, perform like seasoned idols. Along with the bolder and fancier, flashier styling, you also have the stronger and brighter makeup, the colorful eyeliner that looks good, especially for Sakura and Yeonjin, and you got Eunchae's gummy bear nails to probably showcase how she's like the youngest out of all of them. And Chaewon's fake lip piercing made her feel confident and Anti-Fragile, which she mentioned. And Anti-Fragile ended up becoming the highest ranking debut for any girl group on the Billboard 200 at 14. So congrats to them. Also, I'm recording this because I forgot to record this part. And yeah, I'm too lazy. I wouldn't say I'm lazy. Yeah, I'm lazy to take out my microphone and untangle it. So that's why I'm recording it on my iPad. So sorry for the not so great quality or the consistent quality. But yeah, let's talk about LE SSERAFIM's lore. So what happens is that HYBE, they are known for partnering with webtoon and high-profile novelists to promote their groups, which is a really interesting marketing strategy and something that I am kind of interested in. I will say some of the webtoons have just not been that great. So yeah, for LE SSERAFIM, they teamed up with Kim Cho-yup, and she wrote a prologue for Crimson Heart, a story featuring the 5 LE SSERAFIM members. It was then made into a booklet in their second mini album, Anti-Fragile, which I really need to get one of these days. And the prologue portrays a series of events experienced by the members in Refugia, a safe city where magic doesn't work, but the girls go out of their comfort zone and go on a journey to a magical island. The story is made to further solidify their concept that the girls are indeed fearless. Oh my god, I'm getting tired of saying how fearless LE SSERAFIM is. Take a shot every time. Take a shot every time I say LE SSERAFIM are fearless. But yeah, they are fearless and they're willing to go out into a dangerous world. The novelist Kim said in an interview with Weverse magazine. Weverse is a magazine? Oh my god. Okay, yeah. That the concept of Crimson Heart reminded her of animated adventures that she loved as a child. I particularly liked the fact that it was a story about girls. And of course, according to a professor, Ko Jung-min at Hongik University's Graduate School of Arts and Cultural Affairs Management, he details on how the team-up of K-pop and K-literature is actually a win for both parties. And this is what he had to say. K-pop stars can grab the public's attention and generate buzz if they join hands with best-selling novelists. The professor told the Korea Times, even non-fans are likely to think that their albums are worth buying because they feature some literary elements in addition to the music. In short, authors can promote their works through K-pop, and K-pop stars can have their own lore and be more appealing to the K-pop market. I'll be frankly honest with you, I have not been a fan of the HYBE webtoons thus far. They just lack personality in my opinion. I just don't care for them. They're not doing anything new. I mean, it's a fun read if you read it, but it's like, it's not worth reading if you take out TXT and hyphen or BTS out of it. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about Crimson Heart, but hopefully I'll like it. That's how I feel. So yeah, it is a cool marketing tactic, I will admit. the controversies of sserafim, which almost you could say broke them, but it didn't. So let's talk about it. Of course, let's talk about Kim Garam and how many people on the internet bandwagon hated on her due to an incident that led to Garam receiving a degree 5 disciplinary action from the school violence committee. But she did explain that in her first year of middle school, a classmate referred to as you for gossiping and uploading photos of other students in their underwear. And Kim Garam continued explaining herself and telling her side of the stories, that thinking that I was helping the victim, I confronted you, and while doing so, I also swore. At the time, I did not notice the difference between majority and minority, so I was unable to think deeply about why confronting you was a mistake. Kim Garam shared that while she thought she was being loyal and righteous at the time, she looks back now and understands that she was immature. She added, at the time, my method was incorrect and I made a lot of mistakes, but I do not want to hate my past self. She also reflected on her 2 weeks of promotions with sserafim as a dreamlike and unforgettable period, before adding, I am working hard to become a better person. I'm endlessly thankful to my precious fans who love and support me. Hybe, of course, did not comment further on Garam after letting her go because their contract ended. And honestly, I'm very neutral towards Garam. I'm going to be honest with you, because she was in the group for literally 2 weeks. But the way people tore her apart on the internet was heartbreaking, especially knowing that she's only 16. And of course, let's talk about the rigged win. The rigged win. I put that in quotation marks because nothing has been proven yet. But this all began when sserafim won against Im Young-woon. And a lot of people were not buying it because Im Young-woon's song outperformed sserafim in terms of digital. But still, sserafim took the music show win instead, where 60% is determined by digital scores. And of course, his fans sent complaints, and then the police began investigating whether KBS's music band manipulated Im Young-woon's controversial broadcast score that led to his loss. Like, they gave him a freaking 0. So yeah, I don't know if this was rigged or not. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait for the police report, whatever comes out of it. Like, I'm not gonna be surprised if companies do this shit, but at the same time, let's not blame the girls, okay? I doubt they're involved. And of course, there are also concerns about sserafim being sexualized. Like, you have the music video for Fearless, like the humping dance step in Fearless, like, why? And the reason why the music video was filmed in a gym, according to New Kim, was to show off their stable confidence. And this is also something similar they did with BTS. And I personally don't have like super strong opinions on whether I think sserafim is being over-sexualized or not. But let's just say, I just hope they don't give them like inappropriate outfits that the members themselves were inappropriate wearing, or make them do inappropriate things. So, like, another Hybe girl group, if you know, you know. Conclusion time! sserafim could have lost their popularity given the scandals, but they still managed to garner new fans given their incredible stage presence, good music, and the fact that every member in the group gets to shine, so that there's something there for everyone in sserafim. All the members stand out for the right reasons, and if they are this good now, I only hope they'll get better in their future releases. But for now, sserafim truly lives up to their name, and this is what makes sserafim truly fearless. Okay, that's the end of this video. I'm gonna go catch the new Wednesday TV show. Okay, bye!